Here's something I'm worried about. The upcoming draft. It has been widely reported the Raiders need some wide receivers on the outside. Take a look at the roster. They have Marcel Aitman, Keelan Doss, Rico Gafford, Zay Jones, Hunter Renfrow has the job in the slot. We can say that. Terrell Williams, I don't know. He was hurt most of the year. And when he was in there, he was not able to beat the number one cornerbacks or the number two cornerback. So, really, what is he? Is he a number two wide receiver or is he really a number three wide receiver? They have to ask themselves that question. Here's what I'm worried about. The Raiders have been linked to Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb in the draft. Here's the problem. We get past this part. I get past this video.
We don't need a ton of...
I don't need one either. Unless you believe that Joe Burrow is going to pull an Eli Manning, he's going number one overall. Chase Young is probably going number two. Now, as far as my knowledge goes, because I'm not too knowledgeable about college football, I really don't know about the rest of these guys. Meaning, could these teams go in a different direction? Because remember, free agency is right before this, so they could fill certain needs and they could go after a certain player. You know, these teams like picking quarterbacks like Miami and the Chargers, they could easily sign a quarterback like Tannehill. There's Phillip Rivers just bought a house in Florida. Maybe Miami does not select Tua Tagovailoa. Maybe they don't select him. He's got a broken hip, remember. So there's certain areas where something could happen. Maybe Miami selects Justin Herbert, although I saw that guy. I mean, I watched some highlights of him and I was not impressed. It just did not look impressive to me. There's all these positions before the Raiders pick. And the thing is, Jerry Jeudy believes he's going to run a 4.34 in the combine. That could put him in the top 10. That's what was said. CeeDee Lamb is on this guy's mock draft right after him. The Raiders might wind up losing both of these wide receivers by waiting around. They might have to trade up, or they're going to need a contingency plan, a backup plan, a plan B. I still say the plan B, going to Las Vegas, is Antonio Brown. Hate me for it, but it's reality. That's the best wide receiver in free agency right now. All this talk about Tom Brady, oh, he's the best player in free agency. I don't think so. Providing the league doesn't suspend Antonio Brown for the entire year, he is the best wide receiver. Now, the Raiders still need another wide receiver, I believe. I don't think they have the talent on their roster to compete with the Chiefs. They cannot defend the Chiefs by building this awesome defense overnight. It's not gonna work even. It didn't work in the Super Bowl. San Francisco has a pretty good defense. So you're going to have to beat them, kind of like the Raiders beating the Chargers in 1980. Shootouts. And you're going to need firepower. And you have this draft, and you have 2 number 1 picks. But you might have to sacrifice that. If you're convinced Jerry Jeudy is the guy, you might have to package those picks. You do not have a second round pick. And you're talking about going in the top 10 if you have to trade up for him. You have some third round picks, but that might not do it. And remember, it's the Raiders. The Raiders are going to get hosed on any trade. Trust me. One way or the other, eventually they get hosed. You can say what you want about the Amari Cooper trade and the Mack trade, but yes, it got us some good players and stuff, but it's not over yet. So, and there's many other trades the Raiders got totally hosed on. I mean, just trading John Gruden to the team that beats him in the Super Bowl, that's all you need to know. I'm saying they could miss out on these 2 wide receivers, and I don't believe you just fill in the spot. Oh yeah, we'll get a wide receiver later. No. And going defense heavily is not the way to go. It really isn't. You're not going to stop Patrick Mahomes with some defense. He will beat any defense in football. You've got to have a bend but break defense, force him into a mistake, and you got to just play ball control. But the Raiders really do need a number 1 wide receiver. But I think they need 2 wide receivers. I think they need Jerry Jeudy and Antonio Brown. That's how I see the Raiders for next year. But it could work out in the way the Raiders do not get either one of them. They don't get CeeDee Lamb. Someone trades up for both of these players. They're going to be competing in the combine. And if they run sub 40, sub 3.4 times, all of a sudden people are going to notice that. And they're going to trade up for them. Because a lot can happen. These quarterbacks, there's a lot of questions. Like I said, scrolling back up, a lot of questions. You just watch Justin Herbert hurl the ball around. He doesn't throw the ball. He doesn't hurl the ball around. He doesn't impress me. And who knows? Maybe it's the San Diego Chargers select Tom Brady in free agency. And they select right there Tom Brady. What did he want? He wanted weapons. That's what he asked for. They already have weapons, but maybe they want more weapons. Maybe they select one of those wide receivers who are the best in the draft. I'm saying the Raiders could wind up with just a failure right here. If they just sit by idle, they don't do their homework, they're not prepared to move up. They're not going to move up with the Chargers. But you got to wonder, you got to watch what's going to happen with Miami. Miami has, I believe, 3 first-round picks, if I remember right. And they would love to have another one. Or who knows? I don't know, and I don't trust those draft grades where you talk about going down from 5 to 13 or whatever, and all of a sudden that's worth this and that. It's all about the deal you make at the time. Rather 12, forget what the Raiders even pick. Is 7 positions down, a huge amount. That's where the second round pick the Raiders have missing hurts. because they might need to trade up to some place like the 5th position, so another team doesn't walk in there. They could still lose out. Wide receivers have been selected very high before if they show incredible amount of speed. I mean, is this cornerback right here, Jeff Okudah, is he the best? The best cornerback in the draft? Is he just something you just plug in there and he's a shutdown corner? There's no certainty there. But some of these teams might want to move down a bit and still select these players. Who knows? Maybe even Miami. How many teams really want a guy with a broken hip? And like I said, these teams right here, they could solve their quarterback problems in free agency. You don't know what they're going to pick just because they say they're going to pick these players. I guarantee you if Tom Brady hits the market, San Diego is going to try to get him. I'm going to find out very soon, too. Tom Brady cannot be franchise tagged. I learned that. And the Patriots want to know before the start of free agency, which I think is the 16th or the 18th of March. But the tampering period is days before that. I don't know if it's like the 13th, where you can start doing deals. But I'm serious. The Raiders, I don't think plan B is, they missed out on the wide receiver they wanted, so, select a linebacker. Linebacker is not going to stop the Chiefs. Sorry, it's going to be a shootout. Need some weapons, a lot of weapons. Stop playing to Derek Carr's strengths, because one of the problems I have with the people who are just religiously on top of Carr right now, just throwing him under the bus. They don't even sound like Raider fans anymore. They sound like Chief fans or Bronco fans. I mean, they're really aren't any Charger fans. This is what they sound like. And they like to compare 2016 and look at the offense they were running in 2016. It's way different compared to how Gruden, he's going to line up, he's going to run the ball on first and second down, and he's going to throw the ball on third down. He's going to be very predictable. He's not going to take the shots, the low percentage shots that they were doing in 2016. That might have to change. I don't think it's Derek Carr's fault that no one's getting open. And I don't believe the video that, Derek Carr is just missing everyone left and right. Any quarterback can miss an open wide receiver. It's a little hectic when you've got 350-pound defensive tackles coming on top of you. But I'm saying there's no excuse not to give him some wide receiver weapons. I mean, they gave him Hunter Renfrow, and he's the one that connected the most with Carr last year. And why did he connect most? What about Hunter Renfrow makes him different than any of these players right here? He runs crisp routes. He is the best route runner on the Raiders right now. And who is the best route runner? Maybe in this draft? Jerry Jeudy. He runs crisp routes. In fact, he looks a little like Hunter Renfrow, body type. And he's probably a little bigger than Hunter Renfrow, but he's shifty. He doesn't look that tall to me. I don't know what his real height is, but he's very shifty. And they need that. They need that. The last time Gruden had a a winning Raider franchise, a Raider team rather, was I believe when he had Tim Brown and Jerry Rice. And what were they known for? Route running, catching. Yes, need more of that. Come on, ask yourself tomorrow, do you want the Raiders to line up with Zay Jones? Is he the new number one wide receiver? Keelan Doss. He disappeared. Disappeared on another team. They brought him back, and he disappeared some more. Terrell Williams. How many drop passes? Does Antonio Brown drop passes at all? I mean, when he's playing and not yelling at cops and stuff. I don't think he does. This Jerry Jeudy supposedly has good hands as well. Now imagine a team where they line up, especially when they line up in 3 wide receiver sets, or the running back type sets. You got these 2 wide receivers on the outside. Imagine Antonio Brown on one side and Jerry Jeudy on the other. Now I think you can compete with the Chiefs. You got to open up the playbook, though. You got to. One thing for sure, Josh Jacobs needs to stay on the field a little longer. You need to give Derek Carr these 2 weapons, in my opinion. That's my wish list for the offseason right here. But I'm telling you, they could be gone. CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy could be gone. And then you're looking at the next wide receivers. There's supposedly a lot in the top things, but these are the guys that considered the best. Here's the third one from Alabama. He is the speedster. Speedsters. Watch him be another Jesse Hester or something, for the Raiders. Didn't work out too well. Willie Gall. Just all speed. He was playing with those other 2 wide receivers on the same team. This will be a record, I guess. 3 wide receivers from the same school going in the first round if this follows suit. I want the route runner. I want the formula of Jerry Rice and Tim Brown all over again. I mean, John Gruden's even channels back to that time, and he calls Rashad his Charlie Garner. He compares him to Charlie Garner. I wouldn't say that, but that's who he compares him to. So he's looking for certain players from that era in a certain sort of offensive design. I'm telling you, this is what you do. This is how you hit a home run in Las Vegas. Mark my words. If they don't pay attention to what's going on, if they don't make the move they need to make, they're going to lose out. I don't know how much ammunition it would take to move up to the top 10, if need be. Otherwise, you're going to lose out. We're going to find out very fast. The combine's coming right up. After that combine, if these 2 wide receivers right there, Lamb and Jeudy, run 4.34s or even less, someone's going to trade up for them. Remember, the Patriots are probably bringing back Tom Brady. And what did Tom Brady want? What has he been saying as a stipulation? He wants weapons. That's what he's asking for. If I remember right, the Patriots have a lot of draft picks. They have I think they have a lot of 2nd round draft picks or a 3rd round. They probably have the ammunition to move up. They don't care. They get that guy, and they'll probably get Antonio Brown as well. I mean, that's who you're competing with here. You're competing with teams that want to have a super explosive offense, and they already have a good defense. Raiders do not have either. I'm telling you, they better not blow this.